Hello and welcome to Female Cricket Live. The 11th match of the 12th edition of the ICC Women's Cricket World Cup was played today between Australia and New Zealand. New Zealand won the toss and elected to bowl. Batting first, Australia posted a formidable score of 269 for 8 in 50 overs, riding on Elise Perry's 68, Talia McGrath's 57, and Ashley Gardner's blitzkrieg of 48 not out. For New Zealand, it was Leah Tahuhu who was the pick of the bowlers as she struck with 3 for 53 in her 9 overs. In reply, New Zealand managed to score 128 in 30.2 overs as they were bundled out in just the 30.2 overs by Australia. For Australia, it was the 19-year-old Darcy Brown who was the pick of the bowlers as she picked up 3 for 22 in her 7 overs, including one maiden. For the White Ferns, it was Amy Satterthwaite who was the lone warrior as she top scored with 44 runs. So after this match, we can see that Australia have registered 3 straight wins in their World Cup campaign, while the hosts, New Zealand, have pocketed 2 wins out of their 4 matches so far. Now ahead of us, we have yet another exciting contest. It is between the Asian teams, Bangladesh and Pakistan. The match will be played at the Seddon Park in Hamilton tomorrow, that is 14th of March, and the match will start at 3:30 a.m. Indian Standard Time, and you can catch all the live action on Star Sports and Disney Plus Hotstar. So to talk more about this, I have with me Dhanush Lavanya and Urvisha. So Dhanush Lavanya is a content writer at Female Cricket, and Urvisha is a mental health facilitator and an avid cricket writer. All right, so I welcome both of you to Female Cricket Live.
Thank you.
Thank
Nice to be
you.
here once again.
Great. Always pleasure to have both of you. All right, so Dhanush, to begin with you, Pakistan and Bangladesh, two Asian teams, they have played 11 ODIs against each other. If we see the head-to-head statistics, Pakistan have won 6, Bangladesh have won 5. Pretty competitive, we can say. And their World Cup campaign so far has been disappointing. Bangladesh losing 2 out of the 2 matches, Pakistan losing 3 out of the 3 matches. So, what do you think will the approach of Pakistan's team be going into the match with Bangladesh?
If we see this game, many won't rate it as much as the other matches that are going on because if
Yeah.
you see the 8 teams in the tournament, maybe these two
Hmm.
teams will come in the seventh and eighth position in the bottom two. So unfortunately, there many people will rule out this game as not a must-see thing. But there is a exciting contest among these two teams because after all, they haven't been able to be their best in their games so far. Bangladesh lost 2 games, Pakistan lost 3, and but for both these teams, I will say that they had the capacity to punch above their weights. Then they tried it as well. Bangladesh, especially, they have tried it to make sure that they are competitive, and they came close against South Africa in the first match, and they were just blown away by the rain and all the other overcast things that happened against New Zealand, unfortunately. And now they have had 5 days of break, so they will be rejuvenated once again, and they will be looking forward to create an upset. Because if Bangladesh are able to beat Pakistan in this game, and by the end of the tournament, if this is the only match is that they have won, they will be really proud of it because they were able to get a win in World Cup. Even if so, it didn't go as per their plans. As far as Pakistan is concerned, it's a pressure thing for them because if they lose to Bangladesh, that's going to hit their mental stability in a very big way because they have lost 3 games in a row already. Against India, they weren't competitive that well. And against Australia as well, they were just blown away by the bowling unit of Australia. And against South Africa, they were extremely good. Like how we were discussing in just an hour ago, like how Dinesha and me were praising a lot for Pakistan's efforts. We have to be praising that thing because they gave their best. Unfortunately, they had to finish up on the losing side. There are a lot of positives for them to take. One name that I am extremely looking forward in the upcoming games or in tomorrow's game is Gulam Fatima. She took 3 for 52, if I'm not wrong, in the previous game, and that was her first match in this World Cup. She didn't play the first 2 games, and she was impressive in the very first game. And with Bangladesh having a very good opening pair but a very fragile middle order, I feel that Pakistan bowlers can make sure that if they get those early breakthroughs, they can go through the batting unit, and they might have a very good score to chase, or they will bundle out Bangladesh if they are batting second. Oh, so Urvi, let me tell you once again. Let me ask you this thing: like how Bangladesh, they know they are the debut side in this tournament. and many won't be expecting a lot from them. They are punching above their weights. How big that this win against Pakistan, if they manage to tomorrow, will be for them?
So from where I see it's going to be a very strong confidence booster for them because they have been improving in their game a lot. Like if you see their batting, their bowling, their fielding, they are going one step every game higher in their own way. So they definitely are going to try and restrict Pakistan if they are bowling first. They are definitely going to make sure that they get through the top order of Pakistan. They don't let the partnerships of 50 runs, 60 runs come. On field, because if that happens, then definitely Bangladesh is going to feel the pressure to another level, because they know somewhere uh, at the back of their head that they have a very fragile batting order. Like if they just have the two openers who can pull off longer partnerships, and they still need to do a lot in terms of batting. So yeah, it's going to be a great one if they actually pull this off. Yeah, it is going to hurt Pakistan's confidence, but it will be a turn of events for Bangladesh, uh, knowing that they are the debutants in the World Cup, and it can also play around with the scorecard a bit. So we can expect some changes happening if that happens. So yeah. So which brings me to the question to Julie here. We know that Pakistan lost by 6 runs in the last game, right? And it was not because they did not give their best. It was because uh, Shabnam Ismail came to show the uh, winning side to South Africa. She just changed the course of the event in the last overs. So we had some really good 50-run scores. We also had good batting from the captain, Maruf, and everything. They kept fighting through the course, right? They did not stop. It was not like just the opening or just the middle order playing. It was like everyone was chipping in their own way. So how do you feel them coming into the game against Bangladesh? How is it going to be for them?
Yes, absolutely. I think, as Dhanush was speaking earlier, that Dinesha and Lee are friends from South Africa. They mentioned Pakistan's effort against South Africa. They just lost by 6 runs. So it was definitely a great fight put by this Pakistan women's cricket team. And yes, as you talked about the opening pair of Nahida Khan and Sidra Amin, I think Nahida Khan scored good 40 runs and gave a steady start to Pakistan. However, Sidra Amin, who has been playing for Pakistan in these 3 matches in the World Cup campaign that we have seen so far, she has not been able to fire. So Nahida Khan, she has done good, but Sidra Amin, not so good. So maybe I'm seeing somebody like a Muniba Ali replacing Sidra Amin, because we all know that Muniba Ali is a left-handed batter, young left-handed batter. She has the experience of playing 19 ODIs for Pakistan, close to 400 ODI runs, of course, one half century also. And also the fact that maybe the left hand right hand combination could work for Pakistan in the matches ahead. Because right now, what we have seen from Pakistan is that they have two right handed batters in their opening position. And we all know that what a left hand right hand combination can do. Of course, we cannot forget the recent success of Smriti Mandhana and Harmanpreet Kaur, who stitched 184-run partnership the other day against West Indies. So I feel that probably Pakistan can make that one change in the opening position. Let's see if they make it or not. And of course, Omema Sohail, a good middle order batter. She, I think, scored 60 odd runs against South Africa that day and was probably leading the run chase from the front. And at one point, we thought that probably she could see Pakistan home the other day against South Africa and probably cause an upset. And apart from that, I feel their captain, of course, Bisma Maroof, who had a wonderful outing against Australia. She scored 78 not out of 122 balls, scoring the second highest run in an innings, in a World Cup innings for Pakistan. So I think Bisma Maroof missed out against South Africa the other day. So I'm sure that she'll be hoping to fire on all cylinders going into the match ahead against Bangladesh, who is a relatively weaker side compared to the other 7 participating nations that we have in the World Cup. So yes, I'm looking at Bisma Maroof and Nahida Khan, of course, at the top of the order firing, and maybe somebody like a Munibali stepping in tomorrow for Pakistan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will also say I will say that Bisma Maruf's 78 in that match against Australia was not just a knock that saved Pakistan and took them to maybe a below par score, but a respectable score. Because if they had been bundled out for 100 or 120, it would have been a very big embarrassing thing to them. But beyond that 78, beyond those things, it was an inspiring innings for a lot of women out there, because she, being a player who had to sit out for who just returned for the World Cup. after like a year break for due to her maternity and all the and giving birth to her daughter Fatima out there. So with that amount of attention towards her, with that performance against Australia, she was really been looked up by a lot of women, by a lot of young girls out there, and that was really inspiring. And it brought in a heartfelt moment for the fans of women's cricket out here. And as far as coming into tomorrow's game in Pakistan's batting, I feel that they have done too many changes now for the opening pair. Like how I was discussing in the previous discussion, it is like five different opening pairs in last 1 year. So they have a problem of plenty in the top order. And now that Nahida Khan and Sidra Amin are two players that are out there, they know how to play. Maybe Sidra Amin might not have played that much, might not have performed with the bat, but now they have to back some a pair, right? They have made changes in all the three matches, so they have to make sure that this batting pair that they have given the opportunity is continued throughout the tournament. And tomorrow they are playing against Bangladesh. And if you see the Bangladesh unit, there are two players that I feel might be a big concern in the form of Fariha Trisna and Ritu Moni, because those two women have played extremely well, and they have stepped up in the first game against against whom they played the first game against South Africa, right?
South
Yeah.
Africa.
So against South Africa, they stepped up and they were able to pick wickets. And Zahana Alam, who has been the other bowler for them, for the fast bowler, she is one more name. Those are the three names, but aside from that, it's a relatively weaker bowling unit, and this opening pair will have a very good opportunity to score big runs. And Alia Riaz is one more name that I will say has been really consistent for them over the last 5 6 months. So she is one more player that I will be looking forward in tomorrow's game as far as Pakistan batting is concerned.
Yeah. So, continuing with what you said, Dhanush, that if the opening partners really get going on the bowling attack of Bangladesh, I just want to ask to both of you. We'll start with Dhanush first, then Julie. Do you see tomorrow's game as a high-scoring game? Because we know how anything can happen in this World Cup, right? So it can go the batters. We also knowing how the pitch there plays around. So do you think that this can be another high scoring game, like something around 250, 275, 300, anything? Dhanush?
Definitely, it's a great opportunity for the both batting units, because if you see the rest of the if you compare these two teams' batting units with the other sides, they are really slow when it comes to pacing their innings. They don't really do the strike rotations, nor they score boundaries. They are really slow when it comes to playing the game. So it is a great opportunity. They are playing in Hamilton. We have seen like 300 plus just a couple of days ago against West Indies India, and we saw 300 plus between Australia England as well. So it's a very good pitch for the players to score runs. And as I said, the openers will have the great opportunity for both Bangladesh openers and Pakistan openers to just flex their arms and play their best, because they have the maximum amount of deliveries out there available. So they have to make sure they make the best use of it, so that if they perform well tomorrow's game, they will be having a lot of confidence going forward as well.
Julie, your
Yes,
thoughts?
absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you, Dhanush, on this that, of course, they're playing at the Seton Park in Hamilton. We have already seen three games, two matches. Teams batting first have scored more than 300, and in one match, there was a score of 260 that was posted by New Zealand against India. So, yes, it is seems to be a batting paradise, if I may say so, the Seton Park Hamilton wicket. And also, if we look at the weather conditions there, and given the fact that the two Asian teams are going to play, Bangladesh and Pakistan, the weather there is expected to be nice and sunny. So I think that may help both these teams to put up a strong fight in tomorrow's match. And I'll be interested to see if Bangladesh score anything more than 200, because in the two matches that we have seen, they were not able to go past the 200 run mark. On the other hand, Pakistan, in one out of the three matches, they have scored 217 the other day against South Africa. So yes, I'm hoping to be at least around 225, 230 game from both these teams. And yes, let us hope that it turns out to be one so.
Yeah.
And as far as Bangladesh is concerned, I have a couple of names that I feel are
Mm.
the ones who are going to be having the spotlight on them. One is Fargana Hope. She got a very good 50 in the previous game against New Zealand. The other name is the other name is who is this? Farihat Trisna, the left arm fast bowler who got a 3 wickets in the previous game, and then in the first game against against South Africa, and then there is one more name in the form of Ritu Moni, who is a very good all rounder, is what I see, because she contributed both with bat and ball in the first two games, and I feel that she has a very big amount of responsibility of lifting that batting unit, because number three, number four, number five, like Nigar Sultana and other two players that are there in the batting order, have not been able to perform well and haven't been able to step up. But compared to the Pakistan openers, the Bangladesh openers and Sultana and Fargana Hope, they have played really well. They have given good starts for them. So it will be really a great opportunity playing in that condition at Hamilton, which is a very flat pitch. I hope that the Bangladesh openers will score big runs, because they have given like 69 run partnership and 59 run partnership, if I'm not wrong, in the first two games. So it is going to be a really good opportunity for the Bangladesh openers and the rest of the batting unit. And the same thing, I feel that Pakistan also have to make sure that the conditions, like how you said, it will be bright and sunny. There is no chance of rain happening. So I feel that the batting of both the teams have a very good opportunity. So for Pakistan, Urvi, whom do you see being a standout player, or a big player that we have to watch out for?
So from where I see, I am really looking out for the captain to go big, because that actually, if you see her being on strike and being on song, actually motivates the whole troop who is coming. Like all the batters who are coming after her are all pumped up because they know that a set batter is there on the other side, and you have some insights coming in on what to do, what not to do. So if um, leaving out Bisma Maroof, I am also looking at Umaima Sohil. I'm sorry if I got the name wrong, but I'm really looking out
No,
for
you're
her
right.
to actually go big. And yeah, it would be interesting to see if she comes up the order, or she like really has a good partnership building with Bisma Maroof, because that would be a very different thing for me to watch as a fan, and see how two different approaches are going about. Now that we know that it's again Bangladesh, they can actually try a little bit of changes in their batting order and see what works out best for them before they move on to the next game. So yeah, for me, these are the two players that I am looking out for when it comes to batting. And of course, we have Dinah Vague in bowling that I am really looking out for, and fielding, of course, because uh, the times that I have seen her, it has brought a very bright smile on my face, because she is so much into her game. So I'm really looking out to see how much of difference she brings to the scoreboard if they are bowling first. So that's
Judy, any
it.
players you are
Yeah.
looking out for tomorrow?
So I'm looking at Fatima Sana because if you remember the other day we were talking that who will take that new ball with Diana Baik. And yes, the other day when Pakistan took on South Africa, I was mighty pleased to see Fatima Sana, who was of course the emerging player of the year 2021, taking the new ball, and we all know what damage she did. Picked up those three key wickets. So yes, Fatima Sana will be the player that I'll be looking forward to. And of course, as Urvi mentioned, Bisma Maroof, yes. And I remember the celebration that she did after she reached her half century. So it was pretty pleasing, and of course a splendid spectacle to see her dedicating that half century to her baby daughter, Fatima, of course. And as you mentioned about Gulam Fatima, who the leg spinner who Pakistan have, and she replaced Anam Amin in the last match. So she was pretty impressive. She picked up 3 wickets against South Africa. So yes, she'll be the other spinner that I'll be looking at. What about you, Dhanush? Who will be your players to watch out for?
Yeah, in Pakistan, like how Urvi said, Umaima Sohail is someone who can perform both with bat and ball. And Nida Dhar also had a very good match against South Africa. So I feel those two players who performed well against South Africa, because those two women only, Umaima Sohail scored 65, and Nida Dhar scored like 55, if I'm not wrong. And they took Pakistan towards that target of 223. Unfortunately, they weren't able to cross the finishing line. And as far as bowling is concerned, I will say that Fatima Sana is someone that I'm looking forward to as well, because she is just 20 years old and she has been impressive when it comes to performance here in the international circuit. And with the three for in the previous game, and the way she has grown in confidence, because the first two games she wasn't that good, but she has come up well in the third game. And also, one more thing that I want to point out here and ask your opinions, Julie and Urvi, is that in the warm up games between Pakistan and Bangladesh, they had a warm up game, and Pakistan were able to win the game by just 7 runs or something. It was below 200. It was Pakistan scored 199, if I'm not wrong, and they restricted Bangladesh to 192, 93. So how it is going? How that warm up game, which just happened a week or so ago, will impact in this game?
So yes, if we remember that game clearly, if I'm not wrong, it was Pakistan won that match by 6 7 odd runs because of the DLS method. So I think rain played some role in that match. So I'm looking at again another fierce competition between these two sides, Pakistan and Bangladesh. And yes, maybe again a nail biting contest, because again, as we mentioned in the earlier discussion about the head to head statistics, Pakistan have won 6 out of the 11 matches, Bangladesh have won 5 out of the 11 matches. So yes, I'm expecting a thrilling contest tomorrow between these two teams.
Yeah, so if I have to say, um, the game will have some impact on how the players prepare themselves for the game tomorrow. Because as much as we don't want to look back on the games, we uh, do know that the players will look back and see the positives from the game, and they'll see the negatives as something that they need to stop doing, like some things that they are uh, finding difficult to do, difficult to execute. So not go and do something new on the day of the game, like just do what they have been doing, get their basics right. Because as much as most of them would think that this is going to be a very okayish game, but let me tell you that Pakistan and Bangladesh really give a tough competition to each other. They really give run for the money for each of them. So it's not going to be like a very okayish game. It's going to, as Julie mentioned, it's going to be a thrilling one, a nail biting one, because both of them are looking to open their accounts on the scoreboard with the results. So they want to steal the 2 points, and we know that one of them is going to get it. So yeah, that's from my perspective. I feel that yeah, warm up game is really going to play a role in how players come into the game tomorrow. What about you, Dhanush? Do you feel that the warm up game will have any impact on how they prepare for the game tomorrow, especially Bangladesh?
They will be really confident coming into this game more than Pakistan. I will say that straight because they know that they have the capacity to beat Pakistan, and they have come close in the warm up games. And if I'm not wrong, with the 5-6 record, it is like a battle of equals when it comes to tomorrow's game. Both the teams know that they aren't the best when it comes to comparing with other big teams like India, Australia, New Zealand, New Zealand, West Indies, or England. But when it comes to these two teams comparing to themselves, like how Julie was saying earlier in the conversation, that it is pretty much the same. The batting and bowling pretty much is quite similar, so there is no need for us for those teams to feel any superior or inferior. So it will be a battle of equals for sure, and it will be really nice to see who is going to end up with the 2 points on the points table and open their account, so that they can be happy that even if they get this one win, they will at the end of the World Cup, if this is the only match that they won, they will be happy that they were at least able to get some points.
All right. So now that we know that it's going to be a very thrilling game, uh, I just want to ask two of you a very simple question. What are your predictions for tomorrow's game? Like, who who might just win the toss and choose to bat first? And what scores do you expect to be there on the board? Dhanush, let's start with you.
No, let's start with Julie. She has been
Yeah,
quiet for quite some time.
sure, sure.
Okay. So maybe if Pakistan wins the toss, I'm sure that they are going to bat first because we have seen all the three matches at Eden Park in Hamilton. Teams batting first have went on to win the match. So if Pakistan bats first, they'll of course elect to. If Pakistan wins the toss, they'll elect to bat first, and I'm hoping a score in the range of 240 to 250 for Pakistan, given that they have a decent batting lineup and a relatively weaker Bangladeshi bowling lineup. But I'm not expecting a score in something like 270 or 280. Just being realistic about Pakistan's batting as well. So probably 240 could be the score that Pakistan could manage to post. And if Bangladesh win the toss, again, I'm sure they are going to bat first, given the past record at Hamilton. And probably something like 210 to 220 could be the score that Bangladesh would post. And I think Pakistan will win the match tomorrow.
I really want Bangladesh to win this match because they have come so close. Like I've said, like 3, 4 times now, they have just lost by inches. So this win will mean a lot for Bangladesh because they were able to win a match in their debut World Cup itself. And seeing the conditions, and if they are able to win the toss and bat first, their openers are really good in Sultana and Fargana Hoke. So if they are able to get that good start, get those 80, 90 runs in the very first wicket, even if they take like 20, 22 overs to score that many runs, it will be laying a good foundation for them to score somewhere around 230 to 250. And as far as their bowling is concerned, I always feel that they have a very good bowling attack in the form of Ritu Moni, in the form of Fariha Trisna, especially Fariha Trisna. She got a three for, if I'm not wrong, in the practice game against Pakistan, which they lost by 7 runs. So that she will be the player that I will be watching out for in the match from Bangladesh side. And I'll be really hoping that Bangladesh are able to win this game because it won't be seen as an upset. It is at the with seeing the head-to-head records being 5-6. It is a battle of equals, and I really hope that Bangladesh will win, and it will give that amount of excitement for the World Cup tournament that's been really, really going on right now.
Of course, and given the fact that Bangladesh are playing their debut 50 over World Cup, maybe it will be a good thing if they win the match tomorrow. All right, Urvi, before we close the discussion, your predictions for tomorrow's game?
Yeah, even I want Bangladesh to win this one. To be very honest, because I have seen how much they have pushed themselves and like given their best on the field, despite the external factors affecting their game plans. So I really want them to win. If they happen to be batting first, I see a score somewhere around 250. Like, let's just be realistic, 230, 250 is what I'm seeing from Bangladesh. And if Pakistan happens to bat first, I'm seeing something around 260, 65 on the board. So yeah, this is what I'm seeing for tomorrow, and I really want Bangladesh to win this one.
Great. So let us hope we get to see some exciting contest between the two Asian nations, Bangladesh and Pakistan, tomorrow. All
Yes.
right. So great. It was nice to have you, Dhanush and Urvi, on Female Cricket Live talking about the upcoming match between Pakistan and Bangladesh. The match will be played at the Eden Park in Hamilton. It will start at 3:30 a.m. Indian Standard Time tomorrow, that is 14th of March. And all of you can catch all the live action on Star Sports and Disney Plus Hotstar. So we'll be back again tomorrow at 8 p.m. to discuss about the match between Australia and West Indies that will be played on 15th of March. So do join us for a conversation tomorrow at 8 p.m. and send us your questions using hashtag Female Cricket Live. Thank you.